This is Paul from the Awesomer, and today we are going to check out the new 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser First Edition. After a 3-year absence from the US, the Toyota Land Cruiser is back, and it marks a return to its adventurous roots in terms of style. I spent some time getting to know the Land Cruiser First Edition to see if its performance and capabilities live up to its tough new looks. With a boxy and upright shape, the Land Cruiser is no longer a soft-edged luxury grocery getter. Its looks are much more purposeful and pragmatic this time. The first edition I drove features a heritage-inspired grille with a Toyota badge, flanked by round LED headlights. Those round headlights are also available with the Land Cruiser 1958 grade, while you get rectangular headlights if you go with the mid-grade Land Cruiser. The first edition also gets a heavy-duty 3/4 length roof rack, sturdy rock rails on the sides, skid plates, rigid industry fog lights with color changing ability to go between white and amber, and special first edition mud flaps. Our test vehicle's nature inspired color, called trail dust, was contrasted by a gray roof and black lower body cladding, which protects the paint from scratches from brush and other obstacles while driving off road. The first edition's black 18-inch wheels provide more sidewall on the tires than what you get with the available 20-inch units, so they're better suited to off-roading. The included Michelin all-season LTX trail tires aren't as aggressive as true all-terrain tires, but they do a good job providing a smooth ride in everyday driving, and they didn't have any problem gripping in deep and sloppy mud. With 8 inches of ground clearance, the Land Cruiser isn't as tall as some off-road capable vehicles, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lifted TRD variant is in the works somewhere down the road. Here in the US, the Land Cruiser is available exclusively with Toyota's iForce Max hybrid powertrain. This combines a 2.4-liter four-cylinder turbocharged engine with electric motors to provide 325 combined horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. I recently spent some time driving the Land Cruiser's cousin, the Lexus GX550, and I wondered if Toyota's decision to skip the V6 would be to its disadvantage. But the torque numbers are so close that the Land Cruiser never feels underpowered, and it really doesn't feel that less powerful than the GX550. It's also got a 6,000-pound towing capacity, so it'll pull your wake boat to the dock with no problem. The 8-speed automatic transmission shifts quickly, smoothly, and predictably too, and as a bonus, Toyota has substantially better fuel economy than the Lexus. You're looking at 22 miles per gallon in the city, 25 miles per gallon on the highway, and 23 miles per gallon combined. For comparison, the GX550 gets 15 miles per gallon in the city, 21 miles per gallon on the highway, and 17 miles per gallon combined. The Land Cruiser First Edition has plenty of features to help provide traction when it leaves the pavement for more earthy surroundings. Among them is Multi-Terrain Select, which optimizes power distribution on rocks, dirt, sand, mud, or deep snow. Set it to auto mode for mixed terrain, and it'll use sensors to detect how to best manage traction. The full-time four-wheel drive system also has electronically locking center and rear differentials, which you can enable on demand to evenly distribute power from front to rear and from side to side. The 2-speed transfer case switches quickly and effortlessly between 4 high and 4 low modes. There's also a push-button control for disconnecting the front axle stabilizer bars. This increases wheel travel and helps keep your tires planted on uneven terrain. It's not automatic, nor does it unlock the rear stabilizer bar like the fancy EKDSS system in the GX550's Overtrail grade, though, but it's still a really nice feature to have. You'll also get crawl control, which automatically manages throttle and brake application, so you can focus on steering when climbing or descending steep grades. When set to 4 low mode, you also get a multi-terrain monitor, which uses multiple cameras to improve visibility. This combines forward-facing views with a top-down view of the front wheels, helping you precisely place your wheels and to see obstacles you might not otherwise see without a spotter. The display also shows the vehicle's pitch and roll angles. The interior design of the Land Cruiser is precisely as we'd want it to be. It has a muscular aesthetic with lots of sharp angles and thick but cushioned surfaces. It's a really nice beefy feel. The first edition also gets perforated leather seats with heating and ventilation, and other upgrades like a 14-speaker JBL audio system and a 12.3-inch touchscreen running the recently launched Toyota Multimedia System. There's a 12.3-inch multi-information display that has a really nice seamless look. The fully loaded first edition also gets a cool box in the center console, which is great for keeping candy bars from melting on hot days. There's also a head-up display, a digital rear view mirror, which really improves visibility behind the vehicle, a wireless charging tray, and 8-way power seat adjustments with driver side memory. Forward visibility is better than you'd expect from a tall SUV, in part thanks to the sloped hood design, but also thanks to the relatively narrow A-pillars. The interior is quite well insulated from sound, although you do get some wind noise from the boxy mirrors at highway speeds. Legroom and headroom in the second row are plentiful, and taller passengers will have no problem sitting back here in comfort on longer journeys. On the back of the center console, you'll find a pair of USB-C ports for charging gadgets, as well as a 12-volt DC port. There are also independent rear climate controls, and the second row seats lift up and forward to maximize cargo carrying capacity. With the rear seats in use, there's 37.5 cubic feet of cargo space, which is plenty for a long weekend's worth of luggage and camping gear. With the seats folded up, though, you get 81.7 cubic feet. That's not as much as the Lexus GX 550 because of the extra space taken up by the hybrid's battery pack, which also raises the cargo deck's floor by several inches. If you need more space, though, there's always the large roof rack. Gone is the sideways opening access door of older Land Cruisers, replaced by a more conventional liftgate design. This provides more accessibility to the cargo area and is easier to open in a garage or other tight parking space. The Land Cruiser and First Edition grades get a power version of this liftgate. You can still open the rear window independently, which is really nice for tossing in items. And for nighttime adventures, Toyota really knocked it out of the park with the bright LED illumination they provided. I had to load up my gear before sunrise for an early flight, and it was such a pleasure to see what I was doing instead of stumbling around in the dark. From its rugged good looks to its powerful new drivetrain, the 2024 Land Cruiser is a delightful return to form for Toyota's adventure-loving SUV. With the base Land Cruiser 1958 starting at just under $56,000, it's also a rare case where the new model is substantially less expensive than the previous generation. The mid-grade Land Cruiser starts at $61,950, while the fully equipped First Edition I drove had a sticker price of $76,825, which includes the delivery and processing fee.